All right, Ultra Noops Nation. My name is Reed Nelson. This is Izzy Alkvas. This is actually like is it an appendix? Like when they add it on to the end of a book? Yep. So we already filmed This Week in Rec. That's coming up shortly. We did have a game winner. Miller time. Tom Anderson with the tip-in over the Broncos. I had a chance to speak with Tom. We have the highlight. We'll run that right now. Okay. All right, Ultra Noops Nation. I'm here with Tom Anderson of Miller time. Take us through the final play, the game winner.
We had 8 seconds on the clock. Guy was at the line, missed the first one short-ended. We called a timeout, tried to ice him. Did a good job converting the second shot. Full court pressed us. Want to get it to our ball handlers with my brother Brian and then Vinat. It was a hard take to the hoop, and then I followed up on the glass.
So you guys are relatively new to the league. What does a win like this mean to your franchise?
I mean, it's huge. I mean, we were a 1-2 team. We had 2 tough losses at the start. It's big. We're just kind of getting to figure out each other. We had our Austin Brown newly added to the team, and he was out tonight. We were running with 6 guys, and it's big. It's big for us. Let's get to 500.
Thank you, Tom. Good luck rest of the season.
Thank you.
That was Tom Anderson, Miller time. They get the tip in, the late win. I spoke to him about what it means to a young franchise like that. What do you think it means to a young franchise like that to get a win over an established team like the Broncos?
It just builds confidence. I think these teams that come in, they need confidence. They need, to gel a little bit. They need to get a feel for the games, the teams that they're playing against. It usually takes a couple seasons for teams to really start to figure it out. It's huge for them. It's huge. It'll be huge for recruiting. I mean, if they need guys to pick up, if you finish 4-4, 5-3, it's a lot easier to get guys from those bottom teams and start to move into that top 12, top 14 team in the league. So you definitely need it.
What have been your impressions of that squad? They're a new squad. They were Rubio Tuesdays last season. Didn't make a ton of noise. They made the postseason, but they forfeited.
Correct.
What are your impressions of that franchise as a whole? Now change the team name to Miller time.
I like it. I mean, they have good pieces. JB Cortez is a good player. The Andersons are solid. I like Tom. Brian plays a little bit like he's on like some kind of speed. Like he's always moving like really fast. Like I feel like I just want to calm down. Like, hey, just calm down. Let's take some Adderall and just maybe. But he's solid. Aaron, I don't know his last name. I forget his last name.
Is it an Austin Brown? Aaron Brown?
No, Aaron's their. He's good. He's a short-haired. I forget his last name. He killed us. I mean, he killed the Gorillas first week, and then they were missing Austin, right?
Yeah.
They have good pieces. They have 2. I think Ken Jackson. Is it Jackson? Kenneth Jackson.
Yeah, played with the Titans.
Yeah, Juma. I mean, they have good pieces. There's nothing wrong with their. There isn't a player I'm like, that guy's got to go, which is kind of what you need.
It's got to go.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it's kind of what you need. You have to have everybody that comes in isn't going to be, oh my God, I have to sub out for this guy. In all honesty.
Sure.
So, and I don't think they have that guy that's weighing them down. So I think it's good for their team. I like their squad. I think they're maybe one really good player away from being a top 12 team. But that player has to be a really good post, just a good big man, just a really solid defensive big man, and they'll be set.
I love seeing new teams have success. Love it. So
and by the way, I mean, that team, I mean, they had the ball with about 1 minute and 3 seconds left, I want to say. They passed the ball around, wasted all this time, and then at 28 seconds, they're like, time to go. And somebody just overrode the whole one shot, and he decided to take it on 1-on-3. It was Aaron, got blocked. And then Jacob Barton, they said hold for one shot, and he decided to go. I don't know if he thinks it takes himself 9 seconds to get from the three-point line to the paint. But, I mean, maybe if you're army crawling, it would take you 9 seconds to get to the hoop. But he was on foot.
And that's the thing. With what Miller time did, a veteran UH team holds for one shot. Now,
not even that. In the Broncos, they didn't hold for one shot either. They went at 10 seconds. He started going.
It cost him a game.
Gets fouled. Now he puts up a shot at 8.5 seconds, makes one free throw. Now Miller time actually has enough time to get the ball down the court and put up a shot.
Nobody likes holding when there's a minute left, but it's a part of the game, unfortunately.
And they talked about doing it. They just didn't do it. Like one guy just decided, Aaron decided, forget it, I'm going in.
All right, well, they get to win it regardless. So now we will show our regularly scheduled and pre-recorded This Week in Rec. All right, Ultra Noops Nation, my name is Reed Nelson. This is Izzy Alkafas. This is This Week in Rec, Week 4, Bloomington South Edition. Figured we'd switch it up a little bit tonight. So plenty to talk about. Them versus Muskies. First topic of the night. Trevor Hazen hits 2 go-ahead free throws for the Muskies. Them gets the timeout, gets the play they wanted or didn't want. Anthony Thompson with the turnaround jumper. I was joking to people. I was like, well, at least they got a shot off. But that's about the last shot you want, right? No offense, Anthony. No offense.
It's a little out of Anthony's range. I mean, he's taking it a little bit past the free throw line, fade away. He's been watching Devin Stensrud film. Whatever it takes to get Devin the ball in that situation, you got to give him the ball. Whatever it takes.
Simple as that.
And if you can't get him the ball, you got Juice, you got a couple of the newer guys, you have Jordan Jensen. Yeah, Ant in that situation was the last option because Ant's game is usually back to the basket, and for a last-second shot, you don't ever set up a back-to-the-basket shot.
Muskies are undefeated, right? 4-0? What do you make of this Muskie squad? I mean,
they're scrappy. The issue that they have is they don't have enough closers. Like, they don't have enough guys that are willing to – they have one guy that's willing to really take that shot or be that guy that, hey, I'm going to put you guys on my back and we're going to get some buckets here, and that's Trevor Hazen. And he's not all that consistent very often. He got bailed out by a foul down there on the 2 free throws. I don't think it was a very good drive by him. But High is a very, passive player. Mitch isn't really your go-to scorer. Christensen's very passive. Junius is passive. Briggs is. The entire roster is very passive. Casey. So Trevor's their only guy. So that's really going to hurt him when it comes down to crunch time with some good teams.
Aaron Daniels had an opportunity of the Shockers to, I believe, tie the game. Yeah, it was to tie the game at the end. 3-pointer comes up a little bit short. The Shockers were in control. I wouldn't say in control, but in the lead a lot of that game. Joe Eppel hit a couple of big shots coming down the stretch. Paul Ferber suspended 4 games. They missed him. They missed him tonight, but they still come out with the victory. I mean, just hard fought. They played their game. But the Shockers, Jake gave first opportunity I had to watch him extensively, like an entire game, and he's ridiculous. I've watched him play bits and pieces, but I've never sat there and watched an entire game. And he's so in control of his body, and I just love watching him. He's a great player. Yeah,
I agree. I've been saying that for a couple seasons now.
Well, he was the MVP last season. Yeah. I believe he got your vote.
Yeah, he did. He's a good player inside 12 feet. He's great. He gets to his spots. He's got that little fall away. He hangs with that little fall away that he's got there. And he's a workhorse.
Ferber 4 games. Fair, unfair, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, based on the information at hand, he got suspended 2 games last time, correct?
Correct, but for something different.
So I guess, it's a 2, make it 4 this time, and then if he messes up again, throws another elbow, make it 8 or whatever you guys are going to decide. I don't know, I think 4, I voted for 3.5 games.
Why 3.5?
I don't know, just to be different. But yeah, 4 I guess is legit. We got to get him to stop. So whatever it takes to get him to stop, I think is best for the league, because he's an antagonist and everybody, not a single person in the gym outside of the Rebels, and maybe not even the Rebels, like Paul's antics. Period. I think he's the most dangerous player in UH because of that, and he throws them far too often. The thing is, even though he connected this time, the amount of times he's thrown them and hasn't connected is quite remarkable, actually. And I think he's great for the league because he makes the Rebels the Rebels. Without Paul, that team, Dustin and Jansen can't do the things that they do in terms of really play guys tight and funnel them into Paul. He's their most important player. I said that probably starting a year and a half ago once I really started watching extensively and I played with Paul and I really figured out how important he is to a basketball team. They need him, and they need him to mentally be in check the entire game.
Little story about Paul. Remember, I know you remember, how I used to do the first and second team all recs? So the first time I did that, right, we get down to the first team center. No, second team center was Mike Byrne. And people were like, well, what the hell? If he's a second team center, who's the first team center? And the amount of crap I got for putting Paul Ferber as the first team center over Mike Byrne was just...
Yeah, it's still stupid.
It's not.
Mike Byrne. It's not like you said Kevin Chase or another defense.
Ferber had a better season than him. That was all.
It's Mike Byrne. Mike Byrne has the best season.
So all Mike Byrne has to do is show up, and he gets the award?
Because when Mike Byrne shows up, he changes every single game.
And Paul does it?
On both ends. Paul does not, on one end.
Okay, well, I stand by that selection. First team all-rec, Paul Ferber. I believe it was spring of 2012. Okay, Adam Tim, Red Devils, has a shot at the game winner. Again, not a great look. Adam Tim, right?
Yeah, and I hear he was on the line. His foot was on the line too, I think.
I don't know. We have the video. It was a wrong angle. We're not going to be able to tell if his foot was on the line. But let's talk a little bit about the Red Devils. We haven't given them their due. They got Eric Brocious, the bro. That guy can play.
The bro can play.
So talk a little bit about that squad, the Red Devils, and how they're different than past Red Devils teams.
They're not really. I think they're similar. They're similar. They're missing that shot blocker. Ever since Jordan got hurt, and he's got to be around the corner.
About a year ago now.
Yeah, so hopefully he comes back. I mean, he's great to have him in the league. He's just an awesome two-way player. I think not having Trey there provides them with three guards that can shoot and are a threat to shoot, and that really helps them. So what they lose from Trey's explosiveness, they gain from the shot selection, being able to score from anywhere on the court. So the Red Devils always play the Gorillas tough for whatever reason. They play a zone, and the Gorillas, all of a sudden, they can't shoot. Kudos to them. They always come out with their zone regardless of who they play, and a team like the Gorillas should destroy a zone, and we can just never make shots, and the Red Devils always stick around with us and sometimes beat us. Can that team really do anything drastic come playoff time?
Probably not, right?
Probably not. I
didn't know what you're gonna say.
They're missing a shot. You need that paint presence shot. You need somebody down low, and they don't have any back to the basket players. And you have to have that guy that's going to clean up mistakes on defense and be able to score with the back to the basket. And they don't have that guy.
Okay, so I had a chance to interview two guys. Arsenio Richardson of Big Smash. Apparently, Sonny Young Graves went for 39 tonight. Yep. Big Smash takes care of the Bulls. The Bulls are 1-3. Okay, now the ranking still says 4 online. I think that's a mistake because they're not anywhere in the top 12. When I watched a little bit of that game, they didn't seem overly cohesive or impressive. I mean, they have Zhao, they've got Maxey, correct? They've got some size, but they're not. They don't have Kavarian. I'm trying to think of former Bully, hasn't played in the league for a year. Roderick Powell. Yep. Well, what happened to Roderick Powell? Do we know where Roderick is?
I think his work schedule. I think he works nights or second shift, so he can't make the games.
So talk a little bit. First off, let's get to the interview with Arsenio Richardson. Here's Arsenio. Arsenio Richardson, Big Smash. Sonny Young Graves.
Yes.
How many points did he have tonight?
39 against the Bulls.
So now you guys are a little bit different look. Now you left Big Smash a couple seasons ago after the championship.
Yep.
Now you're back.
Yep.
Talk about your journey away and then back to Big Smash.
Well, I talked to Glenn. Glenn is probably one of my favorite players to play with in Ultimate Hoops. And me and Greg had some disagreements about some people that we shouldn't be having. So I left, and I had a ton of fun with the Blue Chips. But then, I talked to Glenn. Izzy stole Billy from us from the Blue Chips, so then I came back home. So now I'm home with Big Smash. I got a surprise team I'm coming with tomorrow in Fridley.
Okay, so if the Blue Chips were still around, would you be still playing with them?
Depending on who else was on that team.
I had to try to trap you there in the corner
okay.
there. So give us a hint about tomorrow night's team.
We play a really good team. We're going to play hard. It might be a surprise, the outcome of the game, but we won't be picked to win the game. But the outcome might be different. But make sure you tell Jay Moore, Sonny had 39. So if he doesn't let Sonny play in any of those games for the Celtics, he's losing.
Thanks, Arsenio.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Okay. That was Arsenio Richardson. Again, Sonny and Graves goes for 39 points. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about Junius Ho, Calvin Bella, because I had a chance to speak with Junius Ho. So, before we chat about it, here's Junius. I'm here with Junius Ho. First, I want to chat about tonight. They got a shot off. It was a shot.
It was the shot that we probably wanted.
Is that the shot you wanted them to take?
Yeah, I mean, I love Ant. Ant's my teammate tomorrow night. But we'll take that fadeaway kind of 16-footer for the win from Ant versus, Ant killing us down low like he was all day. I think we just really came out and played great D. That whole second half, my point to the team was they're way too comfortable. These guys, they're one-on-one guys, but they're passing like the Harlem Globetrotters. And we have to make them uncomfortable. We have to pressure them up. Once Ant catches it within 10 feet, right, it's over. That's no one's fault. But up until 10 feet, if he gets to that spot, that's somebody's fault. That's whoever's guarding him.
So what was the plan on Devin then? Double?
Devin, just stick one of the best one-on-one perimeter shutdown guys. Basically, it's Christensen Island. It's like Revis Island. You stick John on a guard, and they're going to have a tough time. They may still get theirs, but they're going to earn those.
Okay, last week, we covered it on This Week in Rec for those who did not see it, but Calvin Bella.
Woo, you got to run the clip before this part, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit grainy, but here it is.
Maybe while I'm, talking.
So Calvin essentially screams in your face. What was your reaction when he did that?
The initial reaction, I felt really bad that I took way too much time to do the layup. But I'm glad you filmed it because I looked back and I thought, oh, actually, that was like normal speed. Devin just made a great play. So I didn't feel so bad after that. Calvin screaming into my face, he had been barking the whole game, and I get that. Like, he had 24 or something. He had a career game. A career regular season game, mind you, viewers at home. Regular season. This is not for the Gold Cup, not even for a play-in spot, anything. Just regular season game. But hey, you know what? We all have good days, gotta celebrate. He had been barking all day. And, the thing is, people like to give it back to me, right? When they're up early, they like to yell, let's go. Noe's one of those guys that loves to do it too. And I don't really have a problem with it if we abide by the NBA conduct rules of you don't go and talk smack directly to people, right? And the first time, that was questionable, right? But it's understandable. Heat of the moment, right? Joel and Calvin, the ref, right, came and, hey, back up, don't do that, right? So he kind of was like, let's go! And then he's like, don't do that, okay. He comes back. And then he finds me again, he's like, let's go! And literally, what he had for dinner smelled delicious, but, I didn't need to know all that. I didn't need all that information. And the second time, that's what killed me, because I was telling Joel, I said, look, he can't do that right in my face, right? And he can't do it twice. And he says, well, you yell at people all the time. And I say, no, please, it's different. I don't yell at people, right? I try not to. Sometimes they're right there when I happen to unleash the let's go. And I apologize for that because I know it can be loud. But I never try to direct it at one person because I'm never really, outside of maybe a select few individuals, trying to get one person off their game. It's usually the collective.
So should he have been teed up?
Oh, for sure. Like, the fact that we were all sitting there and we said, I didn't even complain. I just said, how are you going to let this happen, right? And you can roll the tape right now and slow-mo and see that the first part is like, okay, we're all saying, and Joel's right there, right? Calvin's right there, and then Mr. Bella walks around like everything's fine, and then comes back. The second time has to be a technical. It has, and I'm not saying necessarily that we would have made those free throws and won, right? Because I had just gotten a layup swatted, so you never know. But it's gutless. It's gutless. I don't care how many times I've yelled, let's go. That does not make it so that, no matter what people say to Junius, like, we can't call a technical because this is punishment for, like, you can't do that. That's not basketball.
I mean, It would have decided the game. Refs don't like to decide the game. I think it should have been called, but it was 60-40 to me. You know, 60 yes, 40 no. Because again, refs don't want to blatantly decide the game, which he would have done.
The video, right?
I was standing right there.
But they didn't decide it. Calvin decided it when he came back around and did the second. I mean, literally, people, you cannot. Like, if Dick Bavetta says, shut up, and then you go around, and then you don't shut up, guess what? Dick Bavetta has to call a tee.
It's true. Any final comments, I guess?
Hey, I don't want to take anything away because that was a great game. We didn't get it done. I mean, I think Cody and I were combined 2 for 14 or whatever. So, hey, hats off to them. But that's a blown call. I love you, Joel, but that's gutless. And Calvin too, that's gutless. Calvin Bella, I get it. You've been waiting for that from the Broncos days. You know, I'm sure he and I, you know, we go at it. And he had a great game, and maybe he felt a little entitled. But you can't let the man get 24 points and do the walk around. You can't give him the walk around. That's a tee. That's a tee.
All right, thank you, Junius. So that was Junius Ho. He's very upset about not having the technical called, which rightfully so. I said it was 60-40. The ref doesn't want to change the game. Refs have always told me we don't want to affect the outcome of the game. But in that case, I don't know if he has a choice because he came back around for a second helping. Calvin did. It wasn't just the first time. He came back around again.
After his teammates his teammates tried to stop him, so his teammates knew that is tech worthy, and he still went at him. Those are the only 2 refs that don't call it technical. And he lucked out that it was Joel and Calvin.
So, I mean, that's a little bit of a rivalry. And it's funny because they don't necessarily play for the same teams. I mean, Junius does, but Calvin's been, you know, so the rivalry goes kind of where those players go. What's the biggest, you think, hatred between 2 players in Ultimate Hoops? And I'm putting them on the spot here. But the two guys that hate each other the most.
They're 2 boisterous, big personalities. They're 2 big talkers. I mean, what do you expect?
No, I'm asking, who do you think is the biggest one? Do you think they're the biggest rivals?
Oh, rivals. Oh, that's tough. I mean, you talk player to player?
Player to player. See, I think like a Ferber Kraft, now that Kraft is back in the league, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like them, anybody on them versus anybody on the Rebels, like DuPont and Q. I mean, that always gets feisty. There's some good ones, but that one's when it comes to, I mean, there's such like bone pickers, big time, both of them, and their personalities are so big and they're so loud and they talk so much.
Calvin and Junius?
They both just keep talking no matter what, and eventually you're just gonna run into somebody that talks just as much as you do, and they just get in each other's heads. Wasn't he the one? When Junius last season in the playoffs, Junius is like, "Shut up! You're not even playing. Or you're not even."
I'm not sure.
I think that was Calvin, actually.
Honestly, no. I think it was John Price.
No, I don't think so.
We'll have to ask Junius.
We'll have to ask
I thought it was John Price.
Yeah,
Shut up! You're not even playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have rivalries like that in the play. I love it.
It's the reason why the league is so great. Vikings will select with the 11th overall selection who tomorrow?
I guess it all kind of depends on who goes ahead of them, but I'll say they're either going to go Trey Waynes or Devontae Parker.
I think they're going to go Parker as well. I think Waynes is too easy. Everyone's going there, but I think they need a playmaker on offense. Wallace is not a number 1. Wallace is not a number 1, guys. I'm sorry. He's a good player. He's an average NFL player. He's not a number 1. Right. So you need a number 1.
I think reuniting him with Teddy Bridgewater is awesome. Gives Teddy another option. Trey Waynes, I know it's the popular pick. He is the best corner, but he doesn't tackle.
Yeah.
And we can't have a guy that doesn't tackle. I would be upset with
Zimmer's not gonna go for that. Marcus Mariota goes where?
Dude, who knows? I mean, I have no idea. I assume there will be a trade up, and somebody's going to take Mariota because I don't think the Titans want him.
So Browns?
I can see the Browns moving up. I can see the Titans moving down multiple times, and maybe the team that moves up into the 2 slot doesn't necessarily take, Titans, maybe, or doesn't necessarily take Mariota. Maybe they move up and take like a Cooper. But I think the second time the Titans move down is who's going to pick up Mariota.
I don't know if he's going to go 2.
Mariota?
No.
No. So I'm saying the first time they move from 2 down, I think the team that moves up to 2 is going to take Cooper or maybe Leonard Williams if somebody falls in love with Leonard. And I think the Titans will move down again, and then that pick, that second time they move down, will be Mariota.
I'm wondering if I should certify the prediction I'm about to make, because you know my predictions. So I don't know if this is a certified prediction, but I've got a feeling that if he makes it to 5, the Eagles are going to get up to 5 in front of the Jets and take him.
I can see that.
That's where I think he goes. I think he gets drafted 5th overall by the Eagles. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you next time.